Longquan is one of the most important ancient weapon capitals in Chinese history. Today, cool weapons like knives and swords are seldom used for wars, but people here still persist in the craft of handmade knives and swords.
Super cool and really interesting. I loved hearing about the culture behind sword making, and the land of swords. Just such a cool city and culture behind the method of sword making. I love that they were helping to keep this culture alive and this practice of hand making swords, keeping it alive in a culture where instant gratification is so valued, and this careful handcrafting of swords over many hours, many weeks is not something that you see much of today. And I thought it was so cool that they are keeping that alive and showing future generations how to craft them. And there's not just the swords having the culture, but the people as well going through this. And I liked being able to learn about the people as well as the swords, and seeing all of the older swords in the museum was so cool, seeing how they held up over time and then seeing them made new as well. I thought that the cinematography was great, showing us every little step of the process was super cool and really interesting for me to watch. I loved all the interviews too of the people who have this passion for the swords, and how they could tell us how it was integrated so much in their culture and how they live their lives.
I loved getting a chance to see the museum and all of those weapons and how they were preserved. I thought that was really cool. Great music. It really added to the film. The other thing that I loved was getting a chance to see how these weapons are made, going through in the blacksmith and how they did it centuries ago. I thought that was really fascinating and very, very educational. Just the time and the care that goes into making these swords is phenomenal. And knowing that knowledge, that culture is being passed down so it won't be forgotten is so special. That's the thing that makes me smile.
Kind of like reminded us like why this town was important like for the country, because back in the day like the weapons were the important like equipments for Chinese men to survive like the town, like the nation, and why they should like preserve like this national treasure like in the country despite the less significance of the weapons like nowadays. So it's kind of like good like the country like from the historical perspective gave us like brief details but a complete like knowledge of the history. Everything is well put together and well told for all of us.
A fascinating short documentary highlighting the Chinese history. I love the unique approach in showcasing the various ways of sword making with metal and flames. Felt very Game of Thrones-esque, and this was a really engaging and fun documentary to watch.
Filled with so many things that are interesting to me. Visually, a lot of just stunning visuals. It's just great seeing things being forged in the, as blacksmiths too. So I loved all that visuals. And then there's just, some nice sweeping vistas there, and just some, really lovely camera work in general. But just the whole sort of narrative over it was just fantastic. I thought it was really compelling. Even bits about the character of the sword maker being as important as anything. I thought that was great. So there's just a lot of good stuff in a short time frame for a piece like this.